What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Scream 7 yet again. Probably have one of these last videos of being about just kind of the structure of these trailers, and then I think starting the next video or two, I want to start to look deeper, and we'll kind of take scene by scene in the trailer and different characters and all that stuff. So a lot of fun stuff coming. But shortly after Scream 7's original trailer came out, I was trying to find the account that did it. Maybe I should have bookmarked it on Twitter or something, but there was an account that I believe spotted that it was submitted in for a trailer 2 and a trailer 3. I remember seeing the image. I remember seeing the length of time, because the trailers, they get submitted, it says the trailer. It literally said trailer 2, trailer 3, and then it gave the length of time, for the trailer. So I want to talk a little bit about that, but also how many more trailers does this movie need? Because although, and I've talked about this in live streams and other videos, I think there is a need to see more. Okay, I like the fact that it was very secretive, and that's kind of this tug of war that's going on in my heart and in my brain. Because at some point, it's like, well, you need to see more because there were just flat-out characters missing, right? And there wasn't really enough, I think, to get an overall sense of, okay, what happens where. But at the same point, you don't necessarily need those things spoiled, do you? Or at least do I. And I don't. I don't want those things spoiled, and yet I guess I'm the hypocrite. I'm over here asking for it. But I think the number one thing, the first thing I did is I looked back at Scream 6, and I said, okay, what were the actual, sometimes you forget, I've been covering these things for so long. So I thought, okay, where were the actual trailers, or what were the actual trailers for 6? And what I remember / found, so there was the first official one, right? Which I've talked about before. There's actually a lot of parallels in specifically maybe the Scream 5 one, but it's actually been a while since I watched it. The Scream 6 first trailer and the Scream 7 first trailer. A lot of parallels, letting scenes play out to, quite honestly, I feel like pad the length of the trailer, right? Because you can't have the trailer be 20 seconds. That would be a teaser. But you want the trailer to be a little bit long, but you don't want to just be jumping from scene to scene. That's actually what got 5 in trouble, right? So what 6 and then 7 did is really let 2 scenes each play out. In 6, it was the bodega scene and it was the Gale scene. Those were the 2 in the original trailer. Those were the 2 scenes that they really let have quite a bit of time. And, they stitched things together. They, of course, include the line, "I'm something different," which doesn't exist in the actual movie, but it's in the trailer. Dang it. And then Scream 7 had something rather similar. Opening scene was 34 seconds, I think, of the trailer. And then when Ghostface is attacking Tatum and Sydney's walking her through it, that's even maybe going through the house, right? That's kind of 3 scenes that they really let play out quite a bit, okay? But then I thought, all right, well, I remember the ladder thing being something that was probably the biggest giveaway of Scream 6, and I was thinking, well, where did they do that? So if you remember, they actually did that Super Bowl, the TV ad. Now, you'll get TV spots for pretty much any movie under the sun, right? And those, honestly, you want spoilers? You watch those TV spots, because TV spots will generally have things in them that were not from the trailers and are more willing to spoil than the trailers would ever do, except for Scream 5. Again, the trailer had no problem spoiling the entire movie, but that's where we got, I think, the extended look at the ladder sequence and the apartment sequence in Scream 6. That was that TV spot. Well, it turns out, maybe I didn't watch it at the time, maybe I did and I just forgot. There was what was considered to be a final trailer for Scream 6 as well. I think it came out under 10 days before the movie, which final trailers, gaming does that as well. They come out the day before a game comes out. So it came out rather close to the movie. It had a lot of the critic scores, 4 stars, and this is why we go see movies, or kind of the cheesy things that critics will say, putting the words in the trailer and then having the characters kind of move around it and whatnot. So we had that. And, to be honest with you, that one showed an okay amount. It actually showed quite a bit of the ending, the final act. And it actually showed, continuing to show, too much of the Gale stuff, okay? So that was really, I think, the trajectory. I think I Googled it, and I think AI said there were 5 trailers for Scream 6. I don't literally think it was 5. I think some were repurposed. But the way I look at 6 is that it had the first trailer, it had the big TV spot, which was a minute plus long and was almost a trailer 2, and then you had trailer 3, which was the final trailer. That's kind of what Scream 6 did. I could see Scream 7 doing the same thing. And again, the purposes of kind of making this video, well, it's to draw, those kind of parallels, but to say, again, that account and I wish I could give the account credit, but I can't remember. I can't even find it. I tried to search it on Twitter. Twitter search things freaking suck nowadays. Maybe they always sucked, but whatever. It seems like it's going to get a trailer 2 and 3. Now, what you would want from trailer 2 and 3, at least what I want from trailer 2 and 3, is to keep it short and to continue, I think, to focus on like the longer sequences. But again, like an Anna Camp, as we've talked about, like there's a couple characters, or maybe even a few characters that were not in the original trailer for Scream 7 that are new cast members of the movie. Even like the new group, like Tatum, not counting, I guess, as part of this. But you think about like McKenna Grace and Celeste O'Connor, like they're in it for what do you want to say? 5 seconds? I think McKenna Grace is maybe in it for 5 or less seconds. Celeste technically is in that bar scene with Ghostface kind of stalking, and we see Ghostface tackling her kind of towards the very end. So she's, I guess, in an okay amount. She's clearly in grave danger. But McKenna Grace not barely in it, and then a couple of the newer people, right, are not in it at all. And so 2 more trailers makes sense. I think I want to say I never watched that original final trailer for Scream 6. Maybe I just pieced out by that, because I think by the point of that final trailer for 6, we were already having like those leaked videos on Twitter of like the reveal, and I was just trying my very best, and I stayed away. I didn't actually see those videos. I did my best maneuvering to not be spoiled, so I probably didn't even watch that. So, and that's maybe where I'll be now as well. Like, I will definitely take another one, because I think there's kind of more we need to learn and explore. But then at a certain point, it actually becomes too much, and then it might get into spoiler territory. So how many trailers should it get? I really think it should only get 1 more. The simple, I think, reality is it probably won't only get 1 more. It'll get 2, but I think 1 is probably, at least to me, 1's the sweet spot, because it kind of fills in some stuff that you probably need to do that, but it also doesn't give away too much. I mean, the simple fact is, the more trailers you do, the more time, if you have 6 minutes of trailers and you're not repurposing scenes, which I think they're going to have to do, to be honest with you, and that's kind of what they did in past movies as well. But if they don't do that, you can't be showing 6 minutes of a Scream movie is not the longest percentage of a Scream movie, but for a movie that's so into trickery and trying to like a whodunit type thing, and you're not going to show boring conversations between 2 characters, that doesn't make for the best trailer. Now, it makes for a good movie, and it can add to a movie, and we all kind of expect characters to talk to each other in the movie, but you're not going to show that stuff, some of the basic stuff like that. You're not going to show that in the trailer. And another thing too, you can keep going. I won't keep you here much longer, but like the AI stuff, right? And with Stu and with Roman, and if they bring back other characters, or Dewey, I guess, let's stick with the confirmed people, right? But there might be unconfirmed people that are coming back as well. The more you spend time in the movie, the more you're going to brush up against another Stu, which is something we talked about, I think, with the Scream 7, the first trailer, where I get people wanting Stu, but I think any scene with Stu in Scream 7 is going to kind of be magical. I don't need to see it. I don't need to hear it. That's me. That's me. It might not be everybody, but my viewpoint on that is I don't need to see it. The less you do of any returning character, the better, because seeing him for the first time, hearing him generally for the first time, like that is going to be special. And if you have that 5 times in a trailer, you're taken away from the movie. That's just kind of my thoughts on that. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and hope to see you all on the next one.